Hey everyone, how's it going? Bryan Baylon here, your local Phoenix Realtor, and today I have a video for you to talk about how to get your real estate license in Arizona. And particularly it's going to be in Phoenix area because that's where I got mine. I'm going to share with you my experience. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can get updates on when I come out with new videos. And we're going to get right into it. So if you're interested in going into real estate, and I've actually had a lot of conversations with people that have expressed interest in what the process is, what it's like to be a real estate agent. So my next few videos may be on this topic, but we're going to talk about actually getting your license from, basically your level of interest and being curious about being in real estate to having a valid license that you can hang with a broker. So the first thing is you just need to go to school. And there are a couple real estate schools. Some brokerages have their own schools within the brokerage that you can get your license. And then also there are some big schools out there. If you go to a major school out there, it's just what I did. It was Arizona School of Real Estate and Business. You basically need to take 90 hours of class, which is about 18 classes. And it's broken up into two sections. You can take a maximum of about 8 hours, so 2 classes per day, and you can do it as fast as 9 days. So they have a 9-day crash course and like a 12-day crash course. I think the difference between those two is that they just don't do weekends, but you're doing 8-hour classes a day for the 9-day crash course for 9 days straight. So there's that. I did a la carte. They have a la carte basically is you can do classes, whatever you'd like as at your own pace, as long as you finish it with a certain amount of time, which I believe it was 6 months. Your class need to be done in 6 months of consecutive when you take your first class. But they have a 3-week program, a 6-week program, a 9-day crash course, and 12-day crash course for last I checked. So there's different options for you to take the classes at your own pace. So whatever's best for you. The point is, and I've heard about this. Some have taken the crash course and have done well. The point of the crash course really is just to infuse you with all of the information, and then it'll take like 4 or 5 days, they say, then you'll finally get it. It'll start to click because you'll hear things over and over again. I personally don't like cramming all of my studying into a certain amount of time. And of course, you don't have to take the test right away either. I think it's within like within a year or so that you have to take it. There are stipulations for that, so you want to check how long you have. But I wouldn't recommend waiting anyway. As soon as you take all the classes, take them as fast as you're comfortable with, so it's fresh in your mind, and then go ahead and take the test, because a lot of the things they actually go over in class you'll hear again, or you might see again in the test. So yeah, you finish your 18 classes, and then you're eligible to take the school test. Before you do that, though, what I did was I took a refresher course, like an exam prep course with the school. And they basically it's an all-day thing. It's like an 8 to 5, 8-hour class, and it doesn't count towards any credits or anything like that. But they basically go over all of the sections, because in every class that you take, they have you take notes on specific things, and then they'll go over the main things that you'll need to know for the test, which is very helpful. It narrows the studying because there's a lot of information. I compared it to like 2 to 3 semesters worth of class in 9 days, as fast as 9 days or 6 weeks. So there is a lot of information, but there's only a certain amount of information that you need to know for the test, which is what they go over in that class. So I highly recommend that if you are, definitely, especially if you took it, you took 6 weeks or longer to do it, take the refresher course. Studying, you definitely want to make sure you understand certain definitions and nuances, because it's law, right? It's it deals with contract law and specific rules, if you will, for how to conduct real estate in Arizona. So you definitely want to know about those things. Once you're ready to take the test, I think it's like a 200 question test is when I took it. They've changed it like 3 times since I took it in 2017 May. So it could be a completely different test now. I have heard they have made it harder. So that's something. They've made it harder every time they've changed it. So yeah. So definitely studying is that much more important. So as you're going into the test, you take the test. You have a certain amount of time. I think it's either 2 or 3 hours, something like that, for 200 questions. So you kind of have to know your stuff. And definitely be prepared. Hey, Bernard. Hey, how's it going? Glad you're watching. Hey, thanks for joining us. And if yeah, so you definitely want to know your stuff. You want to know what you might see questions again. If you took the refresher course, you'll probably be even more prepared. But once you pass that, right? Let's say you do pass it, then you're eligible to take the state and national test. And when you schedule that, it's actually backed up, usually around like 2 to 3 weeks. I think for me it was like 10 days to something like that when I finished my test, when I could schedule my state and national exam. The state and national exam is conducted by like a third-party testing company. So they're running all kinds of stuff for like healthcare, to any certificate, Series 63, Series 6, all those kind of licenses for investing. They have all different types, and real estate's just one of them. So they have a lot of people testing all the time. So there might be a little anxiety as you are, scheduling your state and national exam, that you might forget some things, but just kind of stay with it. Don't, if you pass the test, you pretty much you're ready, right, for that state and national exam. But schedule it as soon as you can. It's $80, and you do need to schedule it with the company. For me, it was Pearson View, I think the company was, but they could change it now. But they'll tell you all that in school, where you need to go and all that. So when the time comes for you to, or the night before when you take your test, definitely get a lot of rest, relax, take a deep breath, just get in a place where you can be as calm as possible, and, have a good meal that night, get some good rest, wake up early the next morning. I scheduled mine at like 10 or 11 a.m. just so I could have time to do a morning routine and wake up, right, and just be at my best. Even go to the gym, if that's something that helps you. And then just be ready, be early, because if you do come in late, then it cuts into your time that you take the test. So they start as sharp at the time, so you need to be there at the time. Once you're taking your test, right, and you're in it, you actually do both at the same time. So you take the national one first. And then that's 2 hours, I believe. It could change. This was 3 years ago, but 2 hours for that section. And then once you're done, you take a little break. They give you 30 minutes or 15 minutes, as long as you want. You can go earlier. And then you take the next one for 2 hours. And that's the state exam. They don't tell you your results until you finish both. Once you finish both, then they'll say whether you passed right on the spot or whether you failed and you need to come back. And so it's kind of nerve-wracking because they're printing it off, right? They're scanning it's like a Scantron, I think it was. And then, they give you the results and they tell you, here you go, congratulations. And it was kind of neat. The lady who was doing mine was like, I knew that you would pass. I had no question. I was like, this person doesn't even know me, but it's okay. It was really encouraging. So I was I passed my test and now I'm eligible to apply for my license. And that's the next step is, as soon as you have everything, your state national exam voucher that you did pass, then you take that along with your application and any other necessary documents. You do need to have a fingerprint card, which you will do during your real estate classes. They have an option for you to get your fingerprint card. That does sometimes take up to 6 weeks. So getting that as soon as possible is really key. So you submit all of it, and within a few hours, Arizona Department of Real Estate will actually license you that fast. So it was I called and they said, yeah, you're pretty much already there. You don't need to do anything else. We'll let you know, once we process it. And, you check in, they tell you check in like, a few hours, and then you do. If there's a problem, you can contact them, but there isn't. I mean, I was on the Arizona Department of Real Estate that quickly, and then that's it. So once you're done with that, then you're eligible to go and hang your license with a broker. Now, with that, as a real estate agent, you cannot practice on your own. You have to hang your license with a broker. And they say hang your license because your broker always has, either the broker or Arizona Department of Real Estate always has your license. So you never actually hold your real estate license in your own hand. I've never even seen mine. I don't even think there's a paper version of it. But my broker technically has that copy right now. So so that's how that works. So yeah, so then it's kind of exciting. You can go and shop for brokerages, and you can interview brokerages and see who's going to best help you. And that's another video, right? I can go over that another time in more detail. I might even do it tomorrow. But yeah, that's really the process. I have talked to a lot of people who have taken the test multiple times. It took them a few times to pass the school test. and then like 2 or 3 times to pass the state and national exam, which I hear is more common because they went after me, and it became a lot harder than when I was taking it. So that's pretty common. And that's okay if that happens. Just know though that from what they told me, that if you have to retake the school exam, it gets harder the next time. Like the second, so there's like 6 versions. This could be different now, but there were 6 versions of the test. And then the second version is the hardest version. So, and then after I think if you fail after like 6 times, then you have to wait like 6 months or something like that. Which, if you study, if you're on top of things, you don't have to take it 6 times. Right. The first test, actually, I think they said was the easiest, I think. So it was either the first one or the fourth. But anyway, in the refresher class, you can ask that question. They probably would answer that for you as they probably updated things. So with that, it's actually, and here's what I would recommend too, if you're going to go to school, is that pay attention to how you feel in the classes, because you're going to hear a lot of stories, and it's very engaging as they tell you all the crazy things that happen in real estate, right? When, and some of the how it happened in 2008 and what it was like to do short sales and REOs, and when the industry was changing and under fire because there were a lot of fraudulent loans that were written in 2008 or 2005 to 2007. So pay attention to that, and actually a lot of the instructors are really, really good and really engaging. They give you really easy tools and systems to really understand what you're learning. So you just almost are memorizing like graphs or just like pictures, if you will, or you just remember stories and how certain laws apply. So if you like that stuff, and you can see yourself even one day wanting to teach that, to just being excited about negotiating for your clients and representing them in the best way. And some parts of the country, they have lawyers that do real estate for them. Here we have realtors. In Arizona, they allow realtors to do real estate. So if you think about it, if you're a lawyer doing real estate, there's law, right? You're practicing law in a sense. And as realtors, they have us practice law as well, right? We have a certain license to do so, and specifically in real estate. So we represent our clients in that way. And if that excites you, right, and the process of helping someone buy a house, right, and talk about the entrepreneurial side, because it is a business as well. But just definitely get a feel for that, because then you'll have an idea of whether this is the right thing for you or not. I had a friend who was interested in real estate. He took the classes, finished all the classes, and he decided, I'm just going to go, do something else, right? And so he decided to go a different path, but now he has the knowledge, right? And I actually did that too. When I was 19, I tried to take the classes. It didn't really work out. I didn't pass my test. I didn't really apply myself. I didn't study. So I just let it go, but I really enjoyed the classes. And it was actually a seed planted so that when I took it again 10 years later, it was ready to go. So, it's really, really amazing experience so far. Bernard here, who just commented on the chat, he's one of my clients that I helped him buy a house in his family last year. Such an honor, and it's so great to be able to serve families in that way, and also keep in touch, right? Like these clients, hopefully the ones that want to, they become clients for life. So yeah, definitely appreciate that. So Bernard, thank you for being here, and thank you guys for those who are watching this video and joining me. If you have any questions, always feel free to comment, during the live stream, or you can comment after. I usually check this page quite a bit, check my YouTube channel. So I want to make sure I address your questions. But this one comes up a lot, and I just wanted to make sure I got that one answered. So if you haven't already, again, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And hopefully this has been helpful. And thank you for joining me tonight. Happy Friday. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll catch you next video. Have a good one.